City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm being joined by one of our very fine detectives from the LaGrange Police Department. He's the detective and crime analyst I have on today, Mr. Tyrel Heckendorf. Ty, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Ty, before we come on, I always like to kind of just fill out my guests and who they are and where they're from. And I think I've seen you out and about, but I don't know you. So, Ty, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I grew up in Kennesaw, so I guess northern Georgia. Moved down here about 5 years ago and immediately started working at the police department.
Oh, wow.
And been a detective for about the past 3 years, and soon after becoming a detective, I became the crime analyst.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you, because I think when most boys are growing up, they see police officers, and they either afraid of them, and they say, "I want to go up to be a police officer."
Yeah.
Did you have that thought?
No. Not really. No.
Not really, okay.
I just kind of fell into it and fell in love with it.
Okay, all right. And you're the crime analyst. Talk a little bit about that, and how is that, and what does that consist of? So,
it's a mix. I produce like crime stat reports for all the divisions at the department.
Oh, okay.
So patrol, I put together, different, works for them, okay. where are we having burglaries? Where are we having entering autos? I pull all those crime stats. I also will give that to the public if they request it. Say somebody's trying to move here and they want to know, is this a good area? What's the crime like here?
Okay.
I'll generate that. Okay. And I help other detectives with their cases, with like criminal intelligence.
Okay. And all very important, because a lot of time when people are moving to a community, there's a couple things that are important to them: the school system, and the hospitals, and then what's the crime like.
That's right.
Absolutely. So I guess you see that firsthand.
Yes.
Well, and you've been with us 5 years now, you say, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that I started out in policing back in 1988 myself, and spent 5 years down in the police department, was in the training division. And I know things have tremendously changed from the time that, like when I was there, because we had like the community policing. Do y'all still do that in some form?
We do, and it's constantly growing. I know we have 2 extremely intelligent officers that are our community outreach. Okay. And they're out in the schools, they're out doing events with businesses here, trying to get the community engaged.
Let me ask you, how much do you all the officers still rely on the community?
Every day. Every day, 100%.
Absolutely. And I know that, neighborhood watches are wonderful, great, and you all encourage those, attend meetings and various things of that nature. But I know that we can take it a step further by helping the police and helping communities to stay safe. And that's one of the things that you want to talk about is it's a 411 tips, right?
Yeah. Talk
a little bit about that for us, if you don't mind.
So historically, when we've requested assistance from the public, we've been posting on Facebook, and it's been helpful. Some of the times, a lot of times we get people commenting, and they're trying to be funny, or I know that there's a lot of people who may know more about the crime, but they don't want to necessarily put their name out there. And that's where Tip 411 comes in. It's a completely anonymous way that the public can assist, or if they see anything, they can reach out to us. Okay. That is important to note. It's not a replacement for calling 911.
Okay.
If there's an emergency or if there's an active crime going on, they got to call 911. This is more for like if you see something, say something, or if you know something and we're working on an investigation, they can reach out.
Absolutely. Because then so many times I just kind of reminisce back to the days when I was down in the police department. Like you say, the neighborhood watches is the best patrol.
Yeah, that's right.
Ever. And then too, a lot of times people don't want to get involved, and this will kind of help take that fear out. And no doubt by just, and I know there's a couple of things that they can do to get information to you all. We were talking about it's anonymous, first of all.
Yes.
And then they can just download apps to their phones. Talk about that if you don't mind.
That's right. So you can get it on either your computer or your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android. If you go to the App Store and just search LaGrange space PD, it'll come up with our brand new patch. And next to it, it should say Citizen Observer. That's what we are. Okay. And that's the company. So you click it, it'll bring you to a main screen, and you can either set up an account, or you can just skip setting up an account and log and submit a tip.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you that even if you set up an account, we still can't see who you are. So you can do that, submit a tip. It's very straightforward. There's not a lot of clicking. There's not a lot of buttons. Another way is straight in your messaging app. You can go to 847, or the number in the number field, 847-411. And then as you start typing, you just do all caps, LaGrange, space, and then you write your tip.
Okay.
And once those are submitted on our end, it creates a randomly generated, like a hash value. It's just a series of numbers and letters, and that's who we see has submitted the tip.
Okay.
And you can put as little or as much information in that tip as you want. You can put your name if you want, a phone number, but you don't have to. You can just put, hey, I've seen this is what's going on, and we'll investigate it.
Okay, very good. And let me ask, how much, like the tips, and I'm sure they have a high percentage of helping you all solve crimes. Talk about that if you don't mind.
I mean, like I said before, we rely heavily on the public. We don't have eyes everywhere. So when, crimes occur, we do our best to locate the evidence, follow the evidence, but we do rely heavily on witnesses. We need people who have seen what's going on, and I think this will really help. Absolutely. Let them come forward, but anonymously. Anonymously.
And fortunately, unfortunately, we do have things happen in our communities. I know a couple of weeks ago we had some unfortunate mishaps where people lost lives, and I know that you all are investigating that. We can't talk about it, but talking about relying on the community, again, say something. You see something, say something. You guys want to make sure that the communities are kept safe.
Absolutely. We all live here.
That's right.
Like, we're all part of this community, myself involved.
That's right. Absolutely. And other areas, patrol, CID, and all the various. You all work together. How close do you all work together?
Very closely. Yeah, because as far as CID goes, the patrol is out there. They're our eyes and ears on the street. They're out doing field interviews. They're documenting where they're seeing people. And they're the ones catching the initial report, and then based on their first investigation, it gets sent to us, and then we continue it on until hopefully we find somebody.
Absolutely. And one of the things that changed, and I just want, this is an opinion question.
Yeah.
The patrol has really changed up. Yeah, the new patches, new cars, and everything like that. How's that catching on with everybody?
I think it's boosting morale.
Okay.
I think just it's something new. And it's something exciting, and it's like, hey, let's get to work. Okay, absolutely. From the days of old, those blue and whites are gone. And that's right.
New vehicles, new uniforms look very nice there.
Thank you.
And I know that the chief of 5S is doing a wonderful job there, along with all the other men and women within the LaGrange Police Department. So I just want to say thank you very much, Ty, for coming on and sharing this information. And once again, there's 411 tips. And Ty, if you don't mind, tell them that text number if anybody had some information they want to send out to you all.
Yes, 847-411, and then you just type in LaGrange, all caps, space, and your tip.
There we go. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from our detective crime analyst. If you see something, say something, because it helps to keep our community safe. And Ty, I want to thank you very much for being my guest on the show today. Okay?
Thank you for having me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more Secret Week coming up in just a moment.
Law enforcement can't be everywhere, but you can help us by being our eyes and ears in your neighborhoods. Now, when you want to communicate with law enforcement, you can use Tip 411, and it's 100% anonymous. We've partnered with Tip 411 to provide a new and innovative crime-fighting tool to our community. We are committed to providing safe, effective ways for you to report crime anonymously. Now you can download our app to easily communicate with us, share information over text message, or report tips online. Our new tool gives you quicker access to provide information about criminal activity in your neighborhood. Plus, our officers will be able to ask questions and have a two-way conversation with you without ever knowing your identity. The easiest way to provide information is to download our free smartphone app, available for Android or iPhone. After downloading the app, enter your anonymous message or tip. It's that easy. You can also provide photos and videos as part of your tip. If you don't want to download the app, you can easily text your tip. In the to line of your text message, type 847-411. In your message, type our unique keyword, then a space, and then your message. You may later receive a follow-up text from us to get more information. Remember, it's all anonymous. But here's an important point. Always call 911 for emergencies. Our new tool allows you to provide information to prevent an incident after a crime has occurred, or if you have concerns about suspicious activity in your neighborhood. Download our app and take an active role in keeping our community a safe place to live, work, and play.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from the LaGrange Police Department. I had on Detective Crime Analyst Ty Heckendorf as he talked about the 411 tip. And if you have tips that you want to send to the police department, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can download the app or use your computer or text 847-411 with a anonymous tip, and they will be happy to respond to you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.